Guys, what an interview. You have to watch my interview here with Crystal Archie and Mike Archie. Now, for those of you who don't know who they are, Mike Archie went to NFL. He's a personal friend of mine. Matter of fact, when I came to the United States at 11 years old, he was one of the first people I met in high school. He was a high school jock. He has a crazy story of how he made it to NFL, and then after a few years he had an injury. They let him go. He went from making money to literally living with no money. They were going through some hard time. Crystal was talking about how she was going to the grocery store and her credit cards didn't work, and it was just a bunch of ups and downs in life. But now they are in a beautiful place in their life, and their story will definitely motivate you and inspire you. So make sure you listen, make sure you like, comment, share with everybody. And again, I hope you take something great away from this interview.
Hey guys, welcome to the One Percenter Podcast. Oh my God, it's crazy. I feel like I'm in a twilight zone. I got one of my best friends from high school, which I haven't seen in 30 years, in the house with his beautiful wife, Crystal and Mike Archie. Let's welcome them. Thank you so much to be on the podcast.
Thank you.
Brother, thank you so much. Bro,
Thank you.
it's crazy, man. We're just talking off camera. Yeah. Who would have thought? You saw me when I first came to the United States. I didn't even speak English. You know what I mean? I came with my little briefcase and little high socks on and came to Sharon, Pennsylvania, man. And everybody looked at me and was like, who the hell is this guy? He's not black, he's white. And you took me under your wing and you were like, come on, man, I got you, man. You know what I mean? You're my little bodyguard. You looked over me, man. And it's crazy, but in high school, like you were the jock. You were the top baseball player, top football player, top basketball player. You were the popular guy, man. You were everybody wanted to be like Mike. Yeah. No, everybody literally wanted to be like Mike.
Be like Mike.
You know what I mean? And I know recently, man, you got inducted in Mercer County, which we're from, the Hall of Fame. And like I said, this morning I texted my cousin. I go, Mike is coming. He goes, Mike, that's the best player ever come out of Sharon. But what's really fascinating is you guys' story. Yeah. Because you guys, got together very young, had a child.
Yep.
You went pro, so you went from low, because where we come from, it's a middle, lower, class, area. Yeah. Where, when you make, $30,000 a year, you're balling.
Right.
If that, right? I always tell people that, like, I'm exaggerating actually. Yeah. You make $1,500 a month, you're balling. You know what I mean? Yeah. So we raised up from there, so we had such a low standards, right, if you will, because we didn't see that around us. Right. You got away, and you met your beautiful wife when you were at Penn State, and I know the whole story.
18.
I'll let you guys talk more about it. Yeah. But what I want to talk about is this, because you guys were down. Yep. You guys went up, and then you got down again. Yep. And then now you're back up again. And you guys persisted. You guys didn't say, you know what, man, I'm down, I'm out. Right. I always say when people, when we're as kids, when we learn how to walk, we fall 1,000 times before we master it. Not one time did we say, you know what, walking ain't for me. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But you guys kept getting back up. Let's talk about that. I want to first, pre-frame everything. Yeah. I'm going to shut up. Yeah. I'm going to let you all talk about it because I love you guys' story.
Gosh, where do we start?
Oh my goodness.
Where do we start? Okay, we'll try to make a really long story short, and when I get going, I tend to talk fast, so slow me down.
So it may not be that short.
Yeah. It's all good. I talk 1,000,000 miles a minute. So, met him, I was 18 years old, I was working as a waitress. My family couldn't afford for me to go to college.
And you're from a small town too,
right?
I'm
from a very small town too. Did not know, we grew up 2 hours away from each other our whole lives, did not know it. And graduated high school. I grew up similar situation, just tell it like it is. I mean, that poor mindset. No one in our family. I don't think anybody ever went to college in my family. Yeah, I think there might have been 1 or 2 people who even graduated high school. So the fact that I even graduated high school, that was a big deal. Mm-hmm. So it was just, I love my family, but we struggled. I grew up on welfare. Mm-hmm. And it was always taught to me because I always had big dreams. I always had these aspirations, and I always felt like there's got to be more. And I want more. I don't want.
When did you have big dreams? When did that start? Is it was something that was always in you?
I think it was,
Me
you know,
too.
because when
Yeah,
I was
too.
growing
Exactly.
up,
I was gonna say, me too.
it was always in me, because when I was growing up, my family would say, "Oh, Crystal Lee," my middle name's Lee. "Oh, Crystal Lee, you know, you think you're better than us, and you're trying to hang around with this popular crowd, and you're a cheerleader, and you're this, and you're that, and you're, you know, this is reality. This is the way things are, you know, your head's in the clouds, you're dreaming too big, you know."
Yeah.
My mom was amazing. My mom always encouraged me to dream, but it's like everybody else around me, they just thought that I was just
out there.
I was out
there,
there,
yeah.
you know. But I always,
You were a dreamer.
I was a dreamer, and I always just said, this is not going to be my life.
Yeah.
I refuse to repeat this cycle of poverty and this cycle of this horrible just mindset of this is the way life is. Accept it.
Yeah.
I'm like, no. So my family couldn't afford me to go to college, so I left when I was 18. I got 3 jobs.
3 jobs. That's crazy.
I was working 3 jobs as an 18-year-old.
So what were you doing?
Cocktail waitressing. I was a hostess and a waitress. So I would go from job to job to job, morning till night. And I had an apartment, and I shared it with 2 other women. And I would walk by myself at 18 years old in the dark at 2 a.m. all the way back to my apartment. Didn't have a car.
Where did you learn that hustle though? Is having 1 job is cool.
Yeah.
Like, okay, but now not 2 jobs, but 3 jobs.
Yeah.
How did you say, you know what? I'm just going to work my ass out. What were you thinking? Because 3 jobs is ridiculous, especially for an 18-year-old with an 18-year-old mentality.
Right. I mean, here I am, like I said, no college degree, but my parents could not afford, even though they wanted to, they couldn't help me. They couldn't even pay their own bills. Yeah. So they couldn't help me to pay for my apartment, to pay for my food, to pay for this and that. So I had to put my big girl panties on, and I had to do something if I wanted to change. I had to do something, so I just did whatever. I mean, I just dove in and worked myself. But one night, in one of the places that I was working at, here comes Mike Archie, and I knew exactly who he was.
Everybody know who it is.
I knew exactly
Star
who it was.
football player.
And I feel bad, all my football player friends out there, but I did not like football players. And I just didn't like their cocky, arrogant attitude. And I met some of his other friends, his teammates, and they just kind of...
Let's say they didn't help me.
No, they didn't help his situation. So he came in, did the whole "I love your eyes," and I blew him off and pretty much gave him, the hand. He's like, how are you gonna do to me?
Like
Mike ain't used to that.
Yeah.
How you gonna treat me? You don't even know me.
No, I know. I said, you said my name is Mike Archie, and I was like, I know exactly who you are.
I'm Mike Archie.
Stop right there. Just stop.
So anyway, I was so rude to him that night. Go ahead, I'll let you explain.
So right after I met her, one of my buddies were up. Bill Jackson was up.
Bill, I know Bill. Billy.
Yeah,
Billy.
we were hanging. Bill was up, and my roommate was with him too at the same time. And we went down. After I got done talking to her, even though she blew me off, I went back to my boys and I said, I'm gonna marry that girl. And their mouths
you knew it right there and
I
then. You knew it right there and then.
I knew it right then and there.
Because where we come from, we don't believe in marriage unless it's unless it's the one.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where we come from, people don't get married.
No.
We got baby mama, baby daddy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No real example.
Yeah, for real. You know what I mean? So when he said marry, you were for real. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so and after I said that, we left. And about 4 days later, I just said, I got to go back down there. I don't care how she treated me. I got to go see her again. So I went back down. I walk in, and what'd you do?
I felt really bad because I treated him horribly.
As you should.
And I was like, I don't want him to think I'm a total biatch. So I go over to him and I was like, I am so sorry how I treated you. I said, I just don't like football players. And when you work as a cocktail waitress, you just deal with guys. And I apologized to him, and he was like, okay. And he didn't do this. You're exaggerating a little bit. If you would have done that, I really would have liked you. But he pretty much said, okay, and walked away. And just smiled and walked away. And I was like, no, he didn't. No, he didn't. Anyway, long story short, we just
You got to play a little hard to get. You know what I mean?
Well, that's why I say got to play that cat and mouse.
She got guys, I did the same thing with my wife. You know what I mean? If she got guys coming at her all day long, you don't want to be that one guy again coming at her. You got to play a little different.
So all night we played a little cat and mouse game, ended up exchanging phone numbers, said we were going to hang out as friends. Yep. And after that first date, we were inseparable.
That's all she wrote.
And 3 months later, We got pregnant with our first child. I was 18.
Everybody thought we were crazy.
Everybody thought we were crazy.
And it was intentional.
And it was intentional.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it was intentional. You know that's the one thing.
Our kids still to this day don't believe it.
Yeah, and this the crazy thing is, that's what I was like. It's intentional. Yeah. You guys knew that you guys were going to be the, obviously the future was unknown.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you guys said, look, we believe in each other no matter what. I want to make this a real thing. We want to have a child together.
Right.
That's crazy, but awesome.
Right. So everybody thought we were nuts and it would never work and that we would not last. And here we are, but
25 years.
But you said because we didn't have the money to get married at the time. I was working as a waitress before I got pregnant, and he's a college athlete. He can't get a job.
Well, you got money to get married at the city hall, but he wanted to give you a good wedding.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you got $25 to get me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I know Mike, man. Mike was like, Paul, like I want to give you a right wedding, right?
I want to do it right.
Yeah.
I want to honor her and give her the wedding of her dreams, what she wanted. Because like she said, she worked 3 jobs.
Yeah.
And I said to myself, I'm a student athlete. I wasn't making money yet. She made more money than I did. Yeah. But
I felt, I was a little discouraged at the time, a little bit, but I knew our circumstance was going to be different because when I got pregnant, I had to get back on welfare. I'm pregnant and I couldn't pay for medical.
I love how you keep it real.
Yeah,
because a lot of people are trying to fake stuff and all that kind of stuff. And you know what? To me, your story, how where you are, has nothing a reflection of where you've been before. And I love how you keep it real because most people come here, oh no, I didn't ever do that. Just let me tell you a little bit about my background really quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't want my mom would never admit that she was on welfare. We were on welfare. Mom, because to me, she was too proud. I'm like, Mom, that's the good thing. That's a good thing when we were there and now we're here.
Yeah.
So but in our culture, man, they never admit. They always talk about their wins, but never their losses.
Right.
And you don't learn nothing from the win. You learn from the losses.
Right.
Anyway, sorry.
Well, I gotta tell you something funny, really quick, something funny. So when we started dating, and my mom, we would go, but this is before I got pregnant. Yeah, this is before I got pregnant. Went back to visit my mom and dad. My mom's passed now, but she sent me back then. I don't think they have this anymore in the welfare system. But back then they had the food stamps.
You had the food stamps.
The food stamps.
Right.
And she said, I
know about food stamps.
Yeah. She's like, I need you to go to the store. I'm not embarrassed now to talk about my past, but back then I would say I was embarrassed when I was growing up and everything. But she's like, here, I need you to take these food stamps and go to the store to get some milk, blah, 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 blah. And I go, I'm not taking that. I'm not taking that funny money.
I'm not taking that
and
funny
Michael's
money.
like, well, where I'm
and
from.
I looked at her and I said, I grabbed that food stamps out of her. I said, where I'm from, this is how I ate. I'm going to the store and get it.
But where I was more embarrassed about it, you weren't. You were like, give me my funny money, give me my food stamps. I'm going to get me some milk and bread and Spam and bologna.
Hey, can I tell you a funny story about food stamps? So when I came to America, my uncle had that store in Idaho Street, with the worst peer, I didn't know what food stamp was. I thought it was money's money. I'm a foreigner. So my uncle put me in charge of the candy and the cigarette section. Some of the candy and cigarettes, people from the hood would come in, right? And they give me food stamps. So I'll give me a cigarette, and I'll give them a cigarette. And next thing you know, the hood find out that this little guy don't know nothing about how to work food stamps, and I was giving him cigarettes. I was giving him stuff that was, one time
food stamps couldn't buy.
Yeah, they couldn't buy. So one time my uncle came in. He started getting curious. After a couple of days, he goes, "Damn, why your section so busy all the time now? All of a sudden, like, you here? What are you doing different? They said, you can't get people. You know what I mean? And then one trick I found out was people will come get penny candy. So let's just say a cigarette was $1.50. So they will come in and buy like 5 cents worth of penny candy. I give them 95 cents back. They come in another time, get 5 cents penny candy, 95, then bring the change and buy the cigarette. I learned the hood tricks real quick.
Real quick.
Gosh,
So yeah.
That is hilarious. Goodness. All right, so where did we leave off? So he playing football at Penn State and busting his booty playing, trying to make it to the league. There was no guarantee, He could have had an injury. He could have. There was no guarantee. Yeah. So he made sure he got his college education, he got his degree, and got drafted. I remember we were in Sharon, Pennsylvania during the draft, the NFL draft, and what a nerve-wracking day that was, and got drafted in the 7th round. And so anyway, so here we are, both, how we grew up. He's in the NFL. we're like, wow, all of our dreams.
No, we made it.
We made it. Like, all of our dreams are going to come true,
starting to pay off and
Yeah.
it's starting to show. But we're thinking that this is going to last for
Ever.
the rest of our life.
Yeah, because I remember when he was in training camp, we were every year just worried sick. And I'd be at home with Jasmine, and then we had the other kids every year. He's busting his tail to make the team, giving it all he got. Because they have, how many guys do they start out with?
Start out with 84 guys on the roster.
Before
and in
camp.
4 weeks, it gets cut down to 53.
Yeah.
Wow.
So every camp.
And these are 84 eligible.
Right.
You know what I mean? They ain't just regular. They got
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They the man in their own prospective
All-American.
town. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Every one of those players are all Americans,
Yes.
so he's having to go up against top dogs every single day. But he ended up playing, and we thought all our dreams were going to come true, and he's doing well. Your first NFL, wasn't your first NFL catch or carry? It was a touchdown.
My first carry in a game was a touchdown against Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Nice.
It was my first official carry in the NFL, and it went for a touchdown, the game-winning touchdown.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
And had that ball framed. I don't have that ball now because we bought
Our
a dog.
dog chewed it up. I was so mad. I came home that day, and that ball was gone.
But my first carry was for a touchdown, and so I mean that was awesome. A feeling. Not many people get their first carry.
That's crazy.
The first time they touch the ball.
No, that's crazy.
In a game, it goes for a touchdown.
I didn't know that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Really quick before we go. So, how was your parents with you guys getting together as an interracial couple?
Oh yeah, we'll go there. So, our parents.
Because I know our town.
Yeah.
Our town was very prejudiced.
Yeah.
When we grew up, man, white people were prejudiced and black people were prejudiced.
Right.
You know what
Yeah,
I mean? You know what I mean?
both,
Yeah, both sides.
So his mom's always been great. My mom and dad, they were great. My mom and dad love him, I think, more than they love me. Like they said, he was the son that they never had. But other people outside of the family,
relatives and all that.
the older school generation. My town, I heard that I was the N-word lover, that's what I was being called. My great-grandmother on my mom's side. So when our daughter was born, she made 5 generations. She was the 5th generation. Yeah. So my mom wanted to get a picture taken and put it in the newspaper and did the whole thing. And my great-grandmother said, I would never get my picture taken with the baby, the N-word baby. Yeah. So talk about hurtful. Like this is her great-great-great-grandchild.
Oh, yeah.
And to say that hurt, And he had some old school grandparent situation too, but we just laughed it off. We're just we just totally laughed it off. People.
For me, it was always I know who I'm falling in love with.
Yeah,
I know
absolutely.
Who I love.
Yeah.
It has nothing. I didn't see skin color, and so
no, absolutely.
And
So it's just your surroundings where we were. I mean, look,
right.
My mom is the sweetest lady in the world, right? But we're Persians. Persians are supposed to marry Persians. You know what I mean? So I knew it doesn't matter color, race.
Yeah.
I was supposed to marry a Persian.
Right.
You know what I mean? So when I married outside of my race, man, she wasn't real happy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's their ignorance because they're not exposed to it.
Right.
Back then, world was separated. Now world is flat.
Right.
Everybody looks at everybody differently, and everybody's just one color.
Yep. Yep.
All right. So NFL, he gets drafted.
So years are gone by. Every year he's making the team, thank God. And then that 4th year, it was the same year the Titans went to the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl, yep.
Same year. And he had a
high ankle sprain. And before I knew it, I was being called into the office, and they said that because...
And it wasn't because of his... Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah, no,
I just don't want to leave it out. And it wasn't because of his ability. In the NFL, it's all about numbers and money.
Yeah, that's it.
Salary caps.
Yeah.
Salary caps, maneuvering money around. I was told that we love you. It has nothing to do with your talent. It's just because you're injured right now. We feel like there's a younger guy.
We can get a newer model.
We can get a newer model for cheaper.
Cheaper.
So we have to let you go.
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
Yeah. You know what I mean? It's a business.
It's a business.
It's a business.
Business.
You know what I mean?
So he had to come home and tell me this. And
Mike, how'd you feel, man? I want to know your feelings. Like, you busted your whole life ever since you were a little kid. I remember you. I remember you ever since you were a little kid. You busted your ass, and in school, football, sports was your identity.
Yeah.
That was your identity, right? And then now you go and pretty much they threw out your identity. Right?
And
how did you feel?
Oh, no, it was tough. Remember, we used to talk about that. And I used to tell him, like, who am I now? But it just took something inside of me. It was like, like you said, that was my whole identity growing up. I was always known as Mike Archie, the football player, Mike Archie, the baller. And now that's over with. And so now you had to get to a different mindset, a mind frame of who are you now? But I knew that I had a loving wife.
We had 2 kids at the time.
We had 2 kids at the time. I knew I had to be a father. And I knew I had to
do something.
I had to step up and do something and provide. I didn't have time to sit back and sulk or get into depression. And it happens a lot.
Well,
because that identity is gone. Sorry, I mean.
No. I always say action alleviates, anxiety. You know what I mean? Like I said, my wife is doing this 20-pound challenge right now, right? And her weigh-in is in 10 days. And I said, the worst thing you can do is be home.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? And think about this.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Just go out there, go out there and do
Mm-hmm.
something. You know what I mean? Keep your mind off of it. And obviously, this is at a whole new level, but I love how you're positive. I love I have 2 choices. I can't sit at home and feel sorry for myself. I got kids, I got a family to do. I got to go do something.
Right.
And what was that?
And so I was always trying to get back into the league. So I wanted to stay working out and training, but I also knew I had to make money. I had to provide.
Because that income just came to a screeching halt.
And so
and you can only survive off of the savings for so long.
And so I tried to go out and put my degree to work, tried to put a resume out there, even though I had no experience. And I was told when I did interviews, you don't have any experience, so we can't hire you. Well, duh, I've been playing football my whole life. And I need this opportunity to get experience. Well, we can't hire you.
That's crazy, man, because here's what I look at. I've had a former NFL player work for me, and I hired those athletes because of the discipline.
Right.
I know if I tell him to be there at 4 o'clock, he'll be there. He don't need it, but I know that discipline is there because the same discipline he applied in sports, he can just, take it over there. So for me, I look for those people, and it's sad that people didn't see that.
And so
they would sit and talk to you, and they would talk football. And
oh yeah, we would have great conversations. Tell me what Coach Paterno was like in college. Tell me what Jeff Fisher was like, who was the head coach at that time. Oh man, it's so great that you played for the Titans, and I bet you that was an awesome experience. I'm like, yep. But at the end of the conversation,
we can't give you a job.
We can't give you a job. So I would just turn around and walk out, and and I wouldn't let it get me down.
I have to say, intervene here, and I mean to cut you off again, babe, but. We do have to share, thank God we had our faith because a lot of guys, we're Christians and we just really gave our life to the Lord right before you got hurt.
Right before I got hurt, yep.
And a lot of athletes, when they lose that and they don't have their sense of identity, they feel like everything is gone. Who am I now? Yeah. So thank God we had our faith to get us through that time because we knew we were bigger. He knew he was bigger than football. He knew that he had so many gifts and talents and there was more out there.
Mike always knew that life happens for you, not against you.
Right.
You know what I mean? And, when you connect dots backwards, you'll be like, man, thank God that happened.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. All those things happen for a reason.
And we didn't even know, fast forward, we'll get to that in a minute, but we didn't even know that God had something even better for us later down the road, years later. But we'll get to that. But anyway, keep going. So first job.
So my first job.
Out of the NFL.
Out of the NFL. And I'm very thankful for this job because it really, like you said, you got to get out there and go and do something. Yeah. And it keeps you busy.
Get out of your comfort zone.
Get out of your comfort zone. You got to think, it keeps you from staying at home thinking the thoughts you were going to have. But some good friends of ours that we had just met became really good friends, and they are our best friends. He owned a construction company.
Building and framing houses.
Building and framing houses. And I said, I just need some work. I got to get out and work and provide for the family. He said, Mike, I don't have a spot for you in construction, but I do need a cleanup guy around the construction site. I said, I'll take it.
So he went from playing in the NFL, being on ESPN Spotlight, to sweeping up floors at a construction site.
To running touchdowns.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? To flip sweeping the floors.
To play to sweep the floors. But you know what I love about my husband? He is the most humble, amazing man that he never ever, I don't want to get emotional, but I was crying when I shared the story, but he never complained about it. He never acted like he was better than that. And he did what he had to do for our family. And even though it was only like $500 a week income, we were thankful for that. Thankful for it. And we struggled and we hit rock bottom. But he did all he could, and he put in all that work and that time, you know, and God honored that, you know, and ended up getting him a little better job, you know, years down the road.
So Mike, coming from where we come from, you know, we weren't exposed to too much. You know, we were exposed to sports and drugs. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, that was pretty much only two way out, right? It was sports or drugs, you know, and most people that came, you know, hang with us, they either got shot, went to jail, dead, or really didn't do much with themselves, right? And even if they're like got a big old chip on their shoulders, like I'm too good for this, I'm not going to do this and all that kind of stuff. You know, I'm sitting down here witnessing you. You know, you're such a grateful person. Mm-hmm. You have such a grateful heart. You know, were you always like that, or how it's hard for me to see someone being positive, you know, going from NFL, ESPN to sweeping the floors, you know, within months.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know. I think ever since, I mean, the better people to answer that is the people that are around you. I mean, you hung around me all the time. Mm-hmm. Did you ever hear me complaining?
No, no.
Did you ever hear me?
No.
I was always grateful. That's why I said, man, you come and hang with us.
Yeah.
I always kept everything positive. I always wanted to stay away from anything negative.
Yes.
And
you were they were right next. I mean, look, man, your best friend got life.
Yeah.
You know, one of the people that we hang around with, he got life in jail.
Life. For attempted murder.
And we were all around that kind of stuff. Yeah. And for some reason, you always had this shield. You used to always stay focused on what you need to do. Whether it was sports or whether it was sweeping the floor, it doesn't really matter. You were focused on the task at hand.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And so
that's crazy.
And sometimes you always wonder, you know, where, you know, looking back on my life now, that protection, that shield, like, you know, when we used to talk about our environment that we were in, it's like, why was that so special? What made it? And I always knew it was because I knew God was always looking down. And when I look back on it now, He had His hand around me. Yeah. He was shielding me, because I always used to think, man, all my friends are getting approached by these drug dealers. All my friends, some of them are drug dealers themselves. Still. And I'm sitting there going, none of them approached me, or I'm sitting there going, did I get a pass, or did I get a pass when I was younger just because I was the star athlete in the town, and they knew I was trying to make something of myself or do something with my life? I don't know, but I just knew I had a certain protection around me.
But even though you were in those situations, you told me you would say, let me out of the car.
Oh, no.
I'm getting out of the situation.
Oh, no.
You know?
There were
it's all about choice.
Yeah.
It is about choice. And so there was a few times where we would drive somewhere or be going somewhere and they want to light up, and, you know, and I would just tell them, if you're going to do that, let me out. Yeah. And they keep telling me, stop being soft and stop being, you know, I'm like, no, let me out right now.
You never let peer pressure get to you. You knew what you had to do when you stuck to your guns, man. That's so noble. That's so crazy. You know what I mean? And that's a definition of a 1%er, what I call 1%er. You know, it doesn't care about what everybody's doing. You know, Warren Buffett said, you know, if you want to be successful, look at what everybody else is doing and do the opposite.
Do the opposite.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And that's the definition of 1%. You're not trying to be popular. You're not trying to be cool. You just stay in your lane and do what you're doing, and you're winning one day at a time. You know, and I love that, man. I mean, you haven't changed. You're the same. You know, you laugh the same way. You know, you like your whole same, you know, positive attitude, same gratitude, man. It's crazy. And it's so hard, you know, to, like I said, to get out of there, to get out of that environment that we had, and still have gratitude. That takes a special person.
He is a special guy. He's pretty special.
You're pretty special.
I'm a lucky girl.
Yeah, but you blew him off though first.
But little did I know I was going to marry somebody with the same mindset,
Yeah.
same drive.
Yes.
And I didn't know that when I first met her, but as we got to know each other a lot more, I'm like, man, she thinks like I do, or we think the same.
But she got 3 jobs, 18 hustling, man. I mean, hey, look, man, that right there, man.
And, just to boast on her, even though I made it to the league, and that time, where she could have, she never let down her dreams. Yeah. But even though I was living mine, she had enough, on her.
At home, taking care of the babies.
Yep, taking care of and taking care of me, and while I'm pursuing my dreams. And so now, when all those dreams went away, and she never let down her dream.
I'm going to be honest with you right now. Can I be honest with you all?
Yeah.
So before I knew the whole story, when I seen her, I'm like, she made it to NFL, and she wanted to be with an NFL player. She's one of those.
Oh, we got that.
She one of them hot girls. She's hot. She looks good. Yeah. She wanted the NFL man to take care of her. That kind of stuff, man. And that was my first impression. And I'm sure that's like most people's first impression. But boy, was I wrong. That's why they say like don't judge a book by its cover. Like she knew you before you had. She was making more money. Cocktail waitress than you were. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you take that same concept. What you're saying. I said when I first met her, she made more money than I did, right? Yeah. So I get to the league, and that's over with. I'm out of the league. She starts her own business. Yeah. She's still making more money than I ever made.
And that's something I want to talk about, That's something I want to talk about, because Mike, you're so humble and so cool, man. But it's amazing. So going back, so you're sweeping the floors, you know what I mean? And how long did you do that for?
I did that for about 2 years.
2 years.
It was about 2 years. And then one day we were at the zoo, because she made me go to the zoo. And I didn't want to go to the zoo. I was just getting done with work. I'm like, I'm tired. I just want to relax. She's like, no, we're taking the kids to the zoo. They deserve to have some fun. So anyway, long story short, a guy was sitting next to her, and he had mentioned my name to her. Are you by chance related or married to Mike Archie? And she said, yeah. So long story short, I came up and met him. He took us out to lunch, told me what he did, worked for an accounting office. He actually owned the accounting firm, and he asked me what my degree was in, and I told him that. And then he said, did you ever think about working in accounting and finance? I said, absolutely. And
a job for me?
And he basically, even though I didn't have any experience, this was a guy
You
who
didn't have accounting degree.
I didn't have an accounting degree.
You weren't a CPA.
You got your degree in hotel restaurant management. Yeah. See, I remember that.
Yeah.
Well,
and so he basically stepped out on faith and hired me, because I think what you say you look for in hiring people.
You're hiring athletes.
I think
that's
what he was looking for.
Yep.
And for that same reason, he hired me, and then I just learned on the spot. I was a fast learner, quick learner, and it was just for years. And when I first started, I wasn't that great at it, but 2-3 years into it, I was like clockwork. But he hired me.
So then you were making about what? We always put everything out there. About a year? What were you making there?
Yeah, I was probably making about $40,000.
So we were happy because he was doing construction and stuff. That was what, $20,000?
That was 20.
So you got double your
pay.
Double.
He's up to $40,000. Yeah. So we're thankful. We're still struggling. We're still, but we're getting a little ahead. And then
at least you can go to buy groceries, or I think sometimes I remember in some of your interviews that you were deathly afraid of grocery stores, because your car kept declining, right?
That happened so many times staying in the grocery store line. I would text him because there'd be lots of times I would be embarrassed and be swiping my card. Sorry, ma'am, it says insufficient funds.
I'll get a call. Do we have enough money in the bank account? I'm like, I'm pretty sure we do. I gotta get groceries. How much you planning to spend? And it's like,
And then I'd get my wallet after one would decline. I'd get my wallet and I'd bring out another card. Nope, decline insufficient funds, and I'd get out another card, and these people were behind me.
You know what? I'm gonna go home and get some money. I'll be back. Don't put my stuff back. Don't put my stuff back. Leave it. Don't.
Right. I'm like,
I need that chicken. I need that chicken.
But there were times where I had to. I remember it was 2 times I had to leave the groceries there because I didn't have the money, and I would get in the car and I would just cry and I would pray and I'm like, God, there's got to be something. I'm like, I want better for our kids. I don't want them to go through the same struggle, the stress and the worries of finances like we did growing up. I was like, there's got to be more. So anyway, he ended up getting promoted after that job to our church. He worked at our church for how many years?
14 years.
14 years. And when did I hear about that? When was this business opportunity brought to me?
March 2009.
March 2009. He was working for the church, but again, we're just paycheck to paycheck. And thank God for some of our friends, like the ones that hired him to be a part of the construction crew. I'm going to give them a shout out, Ron and Tanya. They're so thankful for them. But so many times we couldn't pay our bills, and they would help us to pay that electric bill, to pay,
Man, that's some good friends, man.
I mean, we would have to.
Ron and Tanya, if you listen to this, man, I need my bills.
Ron and Tanya Cervidio helped us out.
I put the electric on my mama name.
But we're so thankful for them when I look back. But when I started this business, there were times that I needed things for the business to help grow my business that we would have to take some things to the pawn shop. Our kids would come home from school and say, where's my video game?
Hey, I heard about that. You took the Nintendo to the pawn shop?
To the pawn shop.
My kids will cut my throat. My kids will cut my throat.
Yeah. I felt like a terrible mom. I'm like, here I am trying to find things that we can take to the pawn shop so we can either help pay a bill or to help get my business going, things like that. But
I love
this. So a friend shared a business opportunity with me. It's a direct sales company. And I immediately was like, no.
A lot of people when they say, it's a pyramid, it's this, it's that. Everybody was always close-minded, right?
You have that in your head.
It's all close-minded, man. You can't knock something to really research it. You can't knock somebody to, do that. And so many people have told me, that everybody needs to be in some kind of network marketing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so go ahead.
It's changed our life, but she brought this to me, and like you, I had that, those things don't work, the pyramid thing, and I'm like, and sales, I said, I'm the last person on earth that could sell anything. I was like, that's just not me.
Yeah.
That is so not me. He knew it. I was like, babe, I brought him the opportunity, showed him the facts, the numbers, and he said, babe, this sounds like a no-brainer. Yeah. He's like, I know you can do this. I said, babe, I'm not a salesperson. I'm not a leader. I'm like, I can't see myself doing this. And he was so encouraging. And he's like, honey, I've watched you lead this home and our children, and you've been such a leader. He's like, you have more. He was, when I was encouraging him and he played in the NFL, baby, you can do this. You're the best. And then he reversed it on to me, and he's like, no, baby, you can do this. He's like, this is in you.
See, that's such an honorable character. To have that. I'm not sure I'm as honorable as you. You know what I mean? I'm not sure, I still got a little ego. I still got some issues I'm working through. You know what I mean? I'm just telling you right now, man, like, see what? No, man, I got this. You sit your ass home, watch the kids. You know what I mean?
And most husbands are like that. I've been so blessed to have such a supportive husband.
You really do, man.
A lot of my business partners, from the beginning, their husbands weren't on board and they weren't supportive of it, and they thought it was a joke, and they didn't, it was like, it's a waste of your time. I'm not supporting this. So I'm so thankful that he always had my back and was my biggest cheerleader, because I don't know how I would have done it.
And she always had my back.
No, that's so awesome, though. I mean, that is how you're a real couple together working as a team for the same result. Right. You know what I mean? I love that. Yeah. I love that.
So he would go to work all day, and I would ready to pull my hair out with all the kids. We had 4 kids at the time. We have 6 now, but I wanted to pull my hair out. And he'd come home from work, and I'd be out the door because I had to go to a business meeting or a training or appointment, whatever. And, it was hard for our kids at first because they were used to mommy being home all the time.
They got her
24/7.
Attention.
24/7.
Yeah.
So it was different to see mommy doing something now, but I kept telling him and I kept telling the kids, just give me time, just let me do this. It's sacrifice. I had to sacrifice so much that people don't realize. People see successful people.
Oh, yeah, they see you
they
now.
Think,
they see you now.
Oh, they just got lucky, or they just know
now.
the right people.
Yeah.
Let me tell you this. When I started the business, there was a lot of misunderstanding from people thinking that I was successful because of him playing in the NFL.
Yeah.
That it was all of our NFL friends.
I would have thought that if I didn't know any better.
Yeah, nope.
There was that.
I had the majority. I love them all now. I mean, I've always loved them. I don't mean to say that. I've loved all of my friends. But when I started the business, none of my good friends, none of our NFL friends, nobody joined us. Some of them have now because they see my success.
Well, because nobody wants to take a risk.
Right.
They want you to go first, and then they want to say, okay, let me see if she falls. Let me see if she falls. Let me see if she falls. Oh, she didn't fall. Oh, she didn't fall. I'll take the risk.
They're waiting and watching,
and
watching. Right. And like I said, I would come to him crying, and I said, babe, I told you how I'm going to do this business. I said, everybody's telling me no. Like, I can't get nobody to support me, nobody to buy a product off of me. I said, see, I am not good at selling.
Now, I saw in some interview that Mike said, look, if you're going to do this, we're going to do this. But I don't want to talk about this until the next 3 years. We're going to 3 to 5 years, and then 3 to 5 years we're going to have. So, but until then, he brought that sports mentality into it, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Go practice, shut up, do your thing. In 3 to 5 years, let's evaluate where we at.
Exactly what he said.
Exactly
He's
what
like,
said.
don't come to me. We're saying this is a 3 to 5 year plan, and we're going to check in on year 3, and then we'll check in and we'll see how things are going.
And year 3 came. What do you want to do now, babe? What do you say? There's no way I'm stopping now.
Nah.
And so year 5 came. I said, I don't even think we need to meet.
There's no more meeting, man.
No more
Keep doing your thing, girl.
There's no more meetings about our company.
But he at first, and he was so supportive and my biggest cheerleader, like I mentioned. But after I don't know how many years into the business,
it was probably about the second.
No, I was saying when you were getting a little, you're like, babe. It'd be late at night, and I'm still on my computer falling asleep.
Oh, he was getting mic time.
He's
He was
like,
getting mic time.
He's like, when's my
Archie
time?
Hey.
And he'd sit over there and pout, and I'd sit on his side of the bed, and he'd be pouting.
You got this hot wife that's working all the time. You'd be like, hey man, like I got man needs, man.
Well,
like, hey.
I mean, we saw how the kids reacted. They're like, man, mommy's not here. I'm sitting there going, I need mommy too.
She would sit there and
your kids said, I want mom. I said, me too.
Me too. I want mommy too.
And I kept telling him, I said, babe, I said, just keep sticking with me. I said, trust me. I said, I'm going to retire you. I'm going to retire you from this job. And all the things that we dream for our family, I said, we're going to be able to do it. I said, but I need this time. If you could just be patient. He's like, okay, I'm being patient. I just need some Mike Archie time, just every once in a while. So anyway, everybody thinks that, like I said, it's just, oh, she got lucky and she just knew all the right people. No, I love the business that I'm in and the industry that I'm in because I can work it around my family.
Yeah.
I can choose my hours. I can choose when and where I work.
But you still got to work.
But you still got to work.
You still got to hustle, you know what I mean?
I had to watch, when I started that business, I didn't watch TV. There wasn't years. I finally he started getting me into a couple of things. But it took me 10, 11 years to start watching TV. Because to me, watching The Bachelorette was not going to get me closer to my dreams.
Right.
Amen.
And I remember one of my mentors, Gabriel Sedlak, love him. There's so many people I could shout out, but I remember him, we talked about doing a vision board. And I still to this day, even though all of my dreams have come true and I can't even imagine, I still am dreaming even bigger and I keep making those vision boards. But I remember I put my vision board and I put it in front of the TV. And one day he came home.
I came into the bedroom and there's this vision board.
Watch this.
There's a vision board in front of the TV. So I made the fatal mistake to go reach for the vision board to take it down.
To watch some ESPN.
To watch ESPN something. And she looked at me with that look. Do not take my vision board down.
I was like, don't take my dreams and set them
Don't
to the
take
side.
my dreams aside so you can watch TV. I'm like, ooh.
Yeah.
She means business.
So,
I'm like, okay.
So at that time, she wasn't interested in watching the game. She was interested in getting in the game.
Exactly. So if I wasn't building my business, I was doing some type of personal development. Yep. Because when I started this business, I didn't have the belief in myself that I could do it. I didn't see myself as a leader. I didn't see myself that I could be this. I mean, I knew what I wanted, but I had just had that negative Nelly in my ear telling me I wasn't good enough. And
we all have that.
Yeah. And when I had a light bulb moment, one of my other mentors, Sarah Robbins, I would listen to her and talking about, you have to get that stinking thinking out of your head because it's going to get in the way of everything. You have to change your mindset or you're never going to you can have all the tools, all the training, everything that you need. But if you do not change that mindset and get rid of that stinking thinking, I don't care what you know, you're not going to be successful. You're not going to be successful. So the day that I turned that light bulb on and changed my mindset, that's when everything changed for me. And I had to do personal development to build me up, to build Crystal up. Because who in the world is going to want to join me in business or listen to me if I don't even listen to me? You know what I mean? Like I have to take care of Crystal first.
Yes.
And get my mind right before I can go out and pour into other people.
Absolutely.
Because in our industry, all it is loving on and pouring into people and bringing out the best in others and lifting them up and watching them shine. Now, I'm at the point where I just want to be the girl in the back. I want to be the girl in the back, cheering on everybody else, watching them and pushing them to the front, letting them shine.
You basically have reached what I call the highest level of success, because now your success is rubbing off on other people, which now puts you in a category called significance. You know what I mean? You know, when you were, struggling, all you can think about is how can I buy groceries?
Right.
How can I, make sure I don't get kicked out? You know what I mean? But when now you reach at a level where, you have everything, all your dreams have come true. Now your fulfillment is to help other people reach that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and
same.
that's better than anything.
Yes.
You can help other people achieve their dreams.
Yes.
That feels better than anything out there. No matter what car, what vacation, when you can help somebody else and they're able to, retire from that job that they hate or pay for that adoption I could go on and on and on. That's what brings, I cry, don't I? Every time somebody shares a story
with
us.
What's that one quote you always say, if you help enough people?
Yeah, Jim Rohn, I think, says it.
Yeah.
Get what they want,
help
get what you
other
want.
people get what they want and go after their dreams. Before you know it, your dreams are going
Your
to
dreams come true.
Simple. A lot of people don't understand that. It's all about get what they want, get what they want, get they want. And when you do that, you turn people off and nobody's attracted to you.
Right.
You know what I mean? But if you go with a helping hand and you help people, man, trust me, man. And I've learned that firsthand.
Yeah, that's another mistake I made in the beginning. I was about me, and me trying to reach my goals and me, and I was turning so many people away. And that's another thing that I learned through people like Jim Rohn and other amazing leaders in the industry, that you have to listen to people, shut up, and take the time to listen to other people and hear their hearts and hear their dreams. And that's another shift in my business. When I stopped vomiting so much all over people, and I didn't take the time, I was talking about me too much, and I didn't take the time to listen to them. And when I changed that, I noticed that's another key point in my business that it started to take off, because I was listening and loving on people and helping them. And like you said, the more people I can help achieve their dreams, before I knew it, I was like,
well, you guys are a loving family. Earlier, you said adoption, right? And I know you guys adopted, how many?
We've got he's been with us since he was 10 years old. And then Mesvin came here on a student visa, and now he's 21. 21. So that was always a dream of mine too. When I was a little girl, I don't know where it came from. Living in my little small town, we had no diversity where I grew up. I should have gone 2 hours away to see all of you guys where all the diversity was, but where I was, there was no diversity whatsoever. So I don't know where that came from, but I always had the desire to go to Ethiopia, of all places. Like, it was my dream.
I know exactly what it was. It was that commercial that kids were over here with protruding belly and and had flies on their face.
Yes.
I remember those commercials.
It just did something to me, and I said, that's my dream. I'm going to go there one day. I don't just want to send a check off.
I don't want to send 35 cents a day.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I want to go.
I want to do the real thing.
I want to go, and I want to have my own organization.
And you guys recently went back.
Yeah, I go all the time.
I know.
I've lost count how many times. It's my second home. I've got it tattooed on me. I love Ethiopia. But I remember the first time we set foot on ground in Ethiopia. Most people's dreams are, to go someplace elaborate, just out of this world. And my dream, I just wanted to go be with the poorest of the poor and just be hands-on with these people. And that was my dream. And I just broke down crying. I was like, here I am, a small town girl, and now I'm living my dream, being able to do what I feel like I'm called to do, So
now, you go to visit Ethiopia. Obviously, it's a third world country, people are starving and all that kind of stuff. And now you come back And now you basically have talking about people, about business, about success, and like that. You see stuff right in front of them that they can take and just run with and change their life, and people still don't want to do that.
Oh, I know.
You know what I mean? And how does that make you feel? Like, I mean, to me, it's like sometimes I want to like bang my head
Yes.
to the wall,
Yes.
you know, because I mean, there are people are starving, you know. I mean, we live in the greatest economy of the world.
We have opportunity.
You know, we live in the greatest country in the world where, you know, anything is possible.
Right.
You know, there's people who, no matter what they do, they can't get out. They can't get out. This is, you know, and now I feel like a bunch of us are a bunch of spoiled brats that take everything that America is founded on, you know, for granted.
Yeah, that's one of my, it's been one of the things I've had a hard time dealing
Me
with.
too.
I've had to learn to let it go because, you know, you bring people in to join your business and you want to see the best for them and you really want to, you know, they get in, they're fired up, they're so excited, I'm going after my dream, this is what I'm, and then a few weeks in or a couple of months in, they're like, this isn't working out for me, I can't do this, you know, I told you these kind of things don't work. I'm going, what are you talking about?
What do they want to do, $1 million fall in their life?
Yeah, like I think people, they look at opportunities and they expect money to fall to the sky and it just to be handed to them and everybody's gonna just jump on board. I'm like, guys, it doesn't work like that. Everybody told me no. I got no after no after no after no after no. I cried, I had disappointment after disappointment, and I had to keep getting back up. Get knocked down, get back up. Get knocked down, get back up. Go to those calls, do that training, go to this meeting when nobody would show up. Go to a meeting and nobody would show up. I could have quit.
Well, Crystal, I'm in the fitness business, man. I got people come in, you know, on Thursday, say, man, you know, I'm so sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm tired. I don't feel good. I need to lose weight. I'm ready, man. I'm just going to do this. You know, this is it. You know, it's my last chance. And on Monday, they don't show up.
Right.
You know what I mean? Don't show up. You know what I mean? And I'm going like, yeah. So I think, you know, one thing I learned in life. You know, back in high school, sometimes in college, you know, they graded everybody on a bell curve. You know what I mean? And I found out that life is like a bell curve. You know what I mean? Some people just get it and take it and run with it. You know, some people, you know, do okay with it. Some people do mediocre with it, and some people just don't do nothing with it.
Right.
And blame others.
Right.
You know
blame
what I mean?
others.
Yeah.
Don't take the CEO you know, they want to blame other people for their lack of success. Well, I wasn't successful because, and then they want to do all this. No, you're not successful because you chose not to go above and beyond. I've had people tell me, you know, I guess if I'd be honest with myself, I wasn't willing, I watched you and I wasn't willing to do what you've done. You know, you've gone above and beyond and you did the things that I didn't want to do. You have to do the things you don't want to do to get to where you are. Did I love all the stuff that I had to do? No. And there was a lot of times that I wanted to throw something at the wall. But my dreams for my family, my why it was bigger than that. And I said, I have to do this. I don't care how many times
I mean, Mike is 5'8", you know, you know, like, you know what I mean? You know, we talk, still, I mean, Mike's 5'8", you know how many times he got knocked out on the field and all that kind of stuff?
Believe
you
me,
know,
I couldn't breathe,
but he had to
so
do what he had to do. That's what got you in the NFL. You know, but nobody wants to go through the pain. Nobody wants to go through the consistency. Nobody, you know, everybody wants to work out for a week and I'll be all swole. Or everybody wants to just like, okay, have one salad and one workout and stay 100 pounds. You know what I mean?
They're done,
Nobody wants to do the consistent work.
And I gotta say that too, before he went to the NFL, everybody told him he wasn't gonna make it because he was too small. You know, everybody told me he wasn't going to make it. So
I could have just lived on that and quit or gave up.
Heard that. You could have listened to that.
I mean, just like life, everything you do, you got to work hard at it. And it's not just going. You think the NFL just fell on my?
No, I know the workouts.
You know what it takes to get
I know the workouts. I know the workouts. You live and breathe sports.
Yes.
I live and breathe. You were the sport. You were sports.
Yeah.
You know, and not only you did it, you studied it.
Right.
You know, you studied sports. You studied the players. You studied. You became a professor of the game.
Of the game. Yep. And so that it just doesn't fall in your lap. You got to continue to work hard. I don't care. You're right. You're gonna get knocked down. You're gonna lose. I've lost some games and all that. It don't matter. You got to get back up and just get back at it.
And I love the quote. I always share it. Entrepreneurship is living a few years of your life like most people won't, so you can spend the rest of your life like most people can.
Yeah.
Because most people aren't willing to do it. They're just not.
Well, like, you know, our normal way that pretty much everybody, our hard drive is to choose comfort over pain.
Right.
You know, who wants to go for a run right now rather than, let's sit down and do Netflix, right?
Exactly.
You know, who wants to go, do something that's unknown rather than doing something now.
Exactly.
And we all know, nobody achieved anything being in their comfort zone.
No.
Nobody. You know what I mean? America would have been founded if Christopher Columbus didn't get out of the comfort zone, because people thought he was going to fall off the earth.
Right.
You know what I mean? He goes, no, I'm going to go check it out.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if unless you're willing to get out that comfort, unless you're willing to push your limits beyond, and I've learned, over the years, man, I'm kind of I'm a weird person. I told you I have issues. I got issues. Man.
I got issues too. We all got issues.
You know what I mean? I got issues.
I tell people I'm a hot mess.
Coming from where we come from, I was like, I got to do this every day to become successful. I got to win today, and for me to win today, I got to do these, right? Even though most people say like, okay, well, Sam, good. You're good now. You're good now. For me, I got to win today still, right? And like my wife, she likes to chill. And it's a good balance. It's a good balance. You know what I mean? But and her language of love is let's cuddle, let's watch Netflix. You know what I mean? And I mean, I'm like jumping out of my skin. I'm like, I can't be watching this, man. I'm like, I feel guilty. I'm like, I need to do something. I need to do something and all that kind of stuff. So now, knowing what her language is and what she wants and all that, so I've learned to be so immaculate with my time management.
Right.
I mean, you see right there, when you look over there, I show you my schedule. Every minute, every hour is accounted for.
He's like
so
he laughs at me. You and I are the same.
I know about your checklist. I know about your checklist. So once I figured like this, I'm like, all right, so by 5 o'clock, I can Netflix, but I gotta crush this now. I gotta crush this. Right. If I don't crush this, I can't Netflix because I can't focus, right? So now I'm like, okay, if I'm gonna earn, I gotta earn Netflix. You know what I mean? I gotta earn it, man. I gotta crush that.
You're my dude. You're my kind of thinking. And I
but we need balance. That's why we need each other. Because you leave it up to us, we will work ourselves to death. You know what I mean? We'll work around the clock. You know what I mean? This and that.
Amy and the kids are always telling me, they're like, he's like, babe, when are you going to slow down? He's like, you're good. Like, you've reached the set, you've reached your goal. You're good. But I just have that mentality. It's like, no, there's a whole community in this trash dump in Ethiopia where I go to all the time. There's like almost 200,000 people there that live in a trash dump area. I said, no, there's no slowing down. I want to bring new homes to those people. I want to be able to help them create jobs. I want to change lives there. I'm like, there's no slowing down. My dreams just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and the more people I want to help.
Two of my mentors, they have this saying. One of them says, Ed Milet says that he's blissfully dissatisfied. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
That's good. I like that.
He's blissfully dissatisfied. I used to be that person that was always dissatisfied. Mm-hmm. I would get to a goal, I'm like, okay, cool, what's next? Yeah. Okay, cool, what's next? Right. Cool, what's next? So then I found myself always like not happy because I was chasing the next thing and chasing the next thing and chasing the next thing. Yeah. Then my pastor said that, Sam, you're not where you want to be, but thank God you're not where you used to be.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that now puts everything in perspective where now I'm like, okay, hey man, we're doing good. We're doing good. You can sit a little bit of time and celebrate. Hey, it's okay to watch a show, once a week. You know what I mean? All that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Well,
so
and I'm at that place now.
No, that's what I was gonna say.
And I'm at that place now.
I'm that counterpart that says, even though she's going all the time, go. I mean, always changing the world, want to do something great. I always tell her, you've earned. Yeah. A time to sit down and watch a TV show.
And now I do that. And now
just relax for a minute. Just take a deep breath.
And we travel all the time. And I try to keep my foot. Of course, we got to Instagram everything. That's just he's an Instagram husband, but but now we can take that time and to relax. But still, my point is, I'm content and I'm very blessed and I'm so thankful. But
maybe you want more.
But I just want to
achieve more. Yeah.
And it's not about more things.
No,
it's not about more things and more. What more can I get? It's not that. I don't want to leave this world until I made a huge imprint and to leave a legacy for my children and their children, pass on.
Because you can stop now and your life doesn't change.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you got to that level. Now it's all about fulfillment.
Right. I just want to help as many people as I can and teach them this mindset.
Let me ask you a question. Do you ever have put your phone away and say, you know what, I'm not going to be near my phone for the next 5 hours?
Yeah, I have.
Do you do that?
He's not gonna. I have. There's times where I put my phone. I've been very good lately. Don't you lie.
did I open up a can of worms?
When we're at dinner and stuff, I've been very good.
I plead the fifth.
It's just when you're in my type of business too. I mean, I'm sure you understand. With you're just phones dinging and everybody just needing you all the time. It's never ending. It's just
Crystal,
ding, ding, ding,
Crystal,
ding.
you know how you learn to be uncomfortable. Starting your business, you learn to be uncomfortable. Getting no's and right. falling down. Now I learn to be uncomfortable. At 4 o'clock, I put my phone away.
Yeah.
At 4 o'clock, I put my phone away, and that to me is uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I want to be uncomfortable. Because I'm uncomfortable when I'm comfortable.
Right.
You know what I mean? So now that puts me in a situation where this is something that I got to master. Right. This is like a challenge to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I know because we both seem like we're type A personality.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
We are.
And it's hard for a type A personality to shut it off. Mike is a type AB personality. Yeah. He's A when it needs to be A. You know what I mean? But he can shut it off.
Like,
you know what I mean? We don't have a shut off button.
You nailed it.
Yes.
Yeah. But what was I gonna say? Something I was going somewhere with. You were talking about putting the phone away. Oh, I've learned how to say no. That's what I was gonna say. I've had to learn how to say no, and I've been very good at saying no to everybody wanting me all the time. I've had to learn to say no and be okay with that. Yeah. And I used to be so worried. I'm a people pleaser, and I want everybody to like me. And I had to learn it. It's okay, not everybody's gonna like me. There's a lot of people that do not like me, and I have to let it go.
Let's speak about that.
I have to let it go.
Let's speak about that a little bit. Thank you for bringing that up. So I know, as you have gone up, in ranks, and obviously you're out there. Your life is out there. Because you want to. You want to inspire people, so do I. You want, hey, look, I came from nothing. Hey, you just came on the show and said, hey, we were on food stamps. Hey, we were on welfare. Yeah. You talked about all the times and all that. You're very transparent, and obviously now you got to a certain level. With that certain level, obviously comes the haters. Obviously come with people who talk crap and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. How do you avoid that? How do you stay on track? And I don't know. It was like a year ago or so. I was, I saw your story, your post or something like that, and somebody threw a brick into your windshield or something like that in your car, in your brand new Mercedes or something like that. Your Mercedes or whatever. And I was like, wow, because I've experienced the same thing. I'm just curious to see, how do you deal with naysayers and haters at the present moment?
Like I said, I had to let it go. I can't let the opinions of others and what they say about me stop me from what I'm doing, because at the end of the day, they don't pay my bills. Yeah. And my family's number one. And I have to, that's another thing I had to learn. In the beginning, I was trying to be like other people and other leaders and mock what they were doing. And I've had a lot of light bulb moments in the past 11 years in this business, and it was a moment where I just heard, God just speaking to me saying, be you, Crystal. Yeah. You're not like those other people. Be you. Stop trying to be like other people. You're not them. You are a hot mess. You're full of flaws, and you make mistakes, and you're goofy, and you're not polished. I am not polished. I get up and speak, and it's a mess sometimes. But I'm me.
But that's my pastor says that you were born an original. Don't die a copy.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And people want someone who's relatable.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I saw Tony Robbins live, because I remember seeing Tony Robbins when I first came to America. Mm-hmm. He was like, he was this perfect, guy and this and that. So when I first, I'm like, okay, but I couldn't really relate. But I went to one of his things, and I was like, Tony came out and dropped the F-bomb, you know what I mean? And I'm like, I love you. I'm like, you talking to you? I'm like, Tony said the F word? I'm like, he's like me. He's not perfect. You know what I mean? And that automatically made me like bond with him that much better, and bought all his courses and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And people want, original. People want relatability. They don't want the same thing they see and all that. And people can see right through that.
Oh yeah. And we, I've learned to just be me, whether they like me or not. I just had to accept. People are gonna like me or they don't. And I have to be okay with that. And I can't let it keep me from sleeping at night, because I'm not going to make everybody happy. Everybody's not going to like Crystal.
So let me ask you a question, because you guys are, Christians and devoted Christians and all that kind of stuff. Did Jesus make everybody happy?
No, everybody, he had a lot of haters. So you ain't
Jesus.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You ain't Jesus.
If he had haters, what makes you think you're not?
We're not an exception.
And that's why I always tell people: if Jesus had haters,
right?
If Martin Luther King had haters, if Mother Teresa, Gandhi had haters, man, you and I, man,
we have no hope.
I had some mentors tell me, if you're not doing something big and something right, then if people aren't talking about you, then you're not really making an impact.
Well,
the moment you start to be successful and to shine and that's when everybody's going to try to come and attack you. And we've had people say, "Oh, you guys have changed. You guys have changed."
Yeah.
Wait a second. Aren't you supposed to change?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
It's not evolution.
That's what leaders do. They change. They evolve. They better themselves.
So
I'm not changing in the mindset of what you're thinking, but I am changing.
I'm changing.
Our address changed. Yeah, we might have got different clothes and things. I said, but yes, thank God I've changed, because I've changed into a leader. I've changed into an entrepreneur. I've changed into
to a better mom, better husband,
Like,
everything.
yes, I've changed. Thank you. I should from now on say thank you. That's a compliment.
That's what I was going for.
I'm so glad that I got out of that stinking thinking negative mindset, and that I have changed, and that I'm dreaming even bigger. So thank you. Thank you. I have changed.
That's crazy, man. I'm going like that's a definition of evolution. You're not supposed to be the same. You're not supposed to be that guy, 20 years from now doing the same thing, wearing the same thing, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. You're supposed to change. Doesn't fashion change? Doesn't cars change? Right. Doesn't planes change? So should you, man.
Right. Everything changes, right? Yeah.
So now you guys build this amazing business. You know what I mean? Oh, before I forget, so she now is killing it in her business, right? And you're supporting her. I know, like I told you, let me tell you about my issue. And this is just a personal issue. You know what I mean? This is a personal issue. Like, I'm a competitor. You know what I mean? I'm a competitor. My wife and I now are in a competition. Whose credit score is going to be better. You know what I mean? Like we talk shit.
Y'all go that deep?
We talk shit to each other, man. Like we don't. We go in there like she's like, oh, I'm catching up. Mine went 5 points. Where yours? You know what I mean?
We got a new challenge, right? We got a new challenge.
So you being humble, gracious, having gratitude, being the star, being the star, bringing NFL money and all that kind of stuff. And now, like I said, now you're the supporter. Now she's, doing her thing, and now you're supporting her and all that kind of stuff. It takes a gentleman. It takes a man. Like I said, I'm not that guy. Like I'm like, what? How much you make? Oh hell no! I'm like, oh hell no! You know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? I would top that. You know what I mean? That's what I'm doing. It's just my effed up mentality. You know what I mean? It's just like, you know what I mean? How were you able to, how did you have not that mentality? You know what I mean? Because I know like she supported you. You're like, okay, it's my time just to support, right?
Well, yeah. That was basically my mentality, because
I love that.
When I was going after my dreams and pursuing the NFL, and the only thing I can think of is when I came home tired, exhausted. Even when I came home with stinking thinking, remember that? I'm not sure if I'm going to make the team. Or who was the first person?
Eddie George is big.
Man, Eddie George is big, man. That's a big man. I don't know if she's like, baby, you're the best running back out there. Remember that when you step foot on that field, you're the best running back. I don't care about them other running backs that are there. You're the best one there. And so with that kind of support that I had and what she gave me, so now
it was a no-brainer. It was a no-brainer.
It was a no-brainer. When it was time, one guy told me, he said the smartest thing you can do as a former player, or even before you become a professional athlete, is marry a smart woman. Because the one she's supporting you on your time to shine, is gonna come one day, it's her time to shine.
I love that.
And he's still competitive. Don't let him lie to you. Our children, even when they were little, he wouldn't. I'm like, you can't let them win one game. Like, you won't even let them win trouble. Like, he's competitive.
I'm still competitive in that nature.
But when it comes to me, and he's never ever said. And you've had other guys ask you that too. Like, man, Mike, how do you handle that?
How do you handle that?
She's the one. And he doesn't even have that mentality,
Yeah, but you know why. You know why? Because you were there for him at his darkest moments.
Exactly.
You know, you know what I mean? Yeah, you got the cut from the team. You were there from the beginning. You didn't get on when he was up. You got on when he was low, and you stayed there when he got up, and you stayed there when he was low. Mm-hmm. So it was like. So now it's kind of like reciprocity, right? It's like reciprocity. Like you've been there for him. Like what kind of man wouldn't be there for the woman after all she's been through?
Right.
So that that's just amazing.
So I knew it was a no-brainer for me to give back what she gave to me. Mm-hmm. And so I mean, and
we're a team.
I mean, like she's the face of the business, and I'm the back office. I still do all my accounting.
We're number crunching.
I'm the numbers cruncher, but she's the face of the business, and so
we're a team. I wouldn't have been able to do it without him.
Yeah.
So.
That is so awesome. So the Archies, you know, what do you guys see yourself? 5 years from now, 10 years from now, what fulfills you? I know you guys want to help people. I know you help. You go to Ethiopia, you give back. You guys such a philanthropist now. Yeah. But where do you see this in 5 or 10 years and all that?
Wow. I know
we're still always going to be helping people. And I know she has her passions in her ways, and I support her, and I go with her to Ethiopia. And then I have my things that I'm passionate about, which is coaching and pouring into kids, and speaking into their lives, speaking positively, giving them great, just things that help them grow as men or women. I mean, I haven't coached any girls yet, but it's always been giving back and helping them.
I can see you do that so well too. I can see that so well.
That's his gifting. He's so great with coaching and kids. He wants to have his own facility.
Yeah, I watch you with your kids, man. I watch you with your kids, and I'm like, man, he's such a great father. You're such a great dad, man. It's so good to see, like a former athlete, who was on top of the world, now become such a selfless person. You know what I mean? It's because most of them cannot be. Most of them, when you're an athlete, you have to be selfish. You know what I mean? It's all about your training. It's about your diet. It's about your practice. It's about your rest. It's about your life. You know what I mean? Everybody else is just secondary, right? And now, you step out of that role and you just become this selfless man who supports your wife, take care of your children, giving away to everybody else. And now you're letting the other youth bring up and be able to have that confidence, have the tools to be able to make it out there, man. That's just so awesome. That's so cool, man. I love seeing that. I feel like like Kobe was with his daughter. Mm-hmm. You were out with your kids like that.
Don't make me cry.
I know. I know.
Don't make me cry. But future. We've been trying to work on. We've been asked so many times to work on a book. So we're trying to get that going. If we can ever sit down,
be still for a minute.
I have my first piece of jewelry that helps my treasured organization, Ethiopia.
That's right. Let's remember that.
I would love to do more. I've got things in the works. I've got so many things in the works that I can't share right now, but there's going to be more that we're going to be diving into.
Well, I cannot wait.
I really just want to pour into people. Not just people in my business, but everybody, no matter what they're doing in life, no matter what career, what they're doing in life. I just want to be able to inspire and uplift and teach them whatever that I've learned over the, my lifetime. Yeah. And I just really want to give that back to as many people as possible. So.
Oh man, I'm blown away. This was better than I thought. Better than I thought. Like I said, I was telling you, I was looking so forward to having you guys on, seeing you after 30 years. And thank you for sharing your story, your ups, your downs, and everything else in between.
Yes, we are just so thankful to be here. Yes. We had no idea. We're like, we don't know what we're talking about because we didn't even talk about it with you. Yeah. So he's like, what are we talking about with Sammy? I said, I don't know. We'll just get there.
But one thing.
But I love that.
But we love it because we're good at wing it and just go with the flow because it's more natural.
It's a conversation.
Just
I don't ever script anything.
Yeah, I don't.
I don't want to because I want to be real, raw, and all that kind of stuff and I don't want it ever to be like kind of come, we're just talking, and that's it.
Yep. And we loved it. We're so happy to see you. I've heard so many great things about you from him.
Finally glad to get to see you
after all these years. All these years. And you're doing big things. Big things.
And I meant to say, I'm like when I saw you standing at the door, and I'm like, man, that's Sammy. I'm like, but he was so much smaller in high school. I said, now look at it. I was like, you're like, oh man.
You changed.
Yeah, you changed.
You know,
that's a good thing.
You know, I don't know if you know the story. You know, when I came to, I came over to guidance counselor. I said I want to play soccer, right? And they're like, we don't have that. So now I was without a sport that I played all my life. So I didn't know what football was about. To this day, I don't know what baseball is about.
Right.
You know, I just know, I'm like, what? How come there's so many different endings? I don't know none of that. Yeah. But so I knew basketball, and I knew that you had to put the ball in the hoop.
But so before you came over, you were playing soccer, So you, when you moved to Pennsylvania, Sharon, Pennsylvania, you just moved to the wrong region.
100.
If it would have been further down south, you would have had your soccer.
Yeah.
The problem was he moved up
north.
They
didn't have that. So I'm like, all right, so I got to play sports, right? So I'm like, football I don't know nothing about, baseball I don't know nothing about. I know basketball. I'm like, okay, well, basketball I got to throw the ball in the hoop. You know, and I'm like, I didn't know, I never played it before, but I'm like, how hard can that be?
Right.
You know what I mean? So I tried out for the 8th grade basketball team. You know, I didn't even know that, right? You know, I tried out for the
Yeah,
I think I remember.
And
Did you make it?
No. And that was the biggest. That was my biggest blessing. That was my biggest. So I tried for the 8th grade basketball team, and I never forget, Crystal. You know, the coach said after the scrimmage, everybody go on the bleacher, and when I call your name, you made the team. And literally, he called everybody's name except me. Literally everybody. I don't know if you remember. There was a guy named.
You were the only one that didn't make it.
Nope. There was a guy named Dan Candiotti. You remember that? You remember that? Dan had triple bifocals. He couldn't even see the ball. Oh. Like he made the team.
Now he's bringing back stories. Yeah. He's bringing back stories. Exactly. He had big bifocals.
Yeah. He couldn't even see the ball, and he made the team, and I didn't make the team. I walked home crying the whole time. You know, from Sharon High School to West Hill. I cried home in the snow. You know, with my new Converse on. You know, I thought I would look good. By just looking good, I should have made the team. You know what I mean? And I went home. I cried to my mom. I said, Mom, I want to go back to my old country. I don't want to do this and all that kind of stuff. So my mom said, look, we can't go back to our old country. He goes, why don't you try it next year, get better. After school, walk to the Buell Club. You know, practice after work. I pick you up, and then that's what you do. So after going to Buell Club for about a month and practicing basketball, I saw this one people that were going up the stairs, this little weight room that they had. I'm like, what people? They look like Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'm like, I want to look like that. You know what I mean? So I started going there. I was small. I was like 130 pounds, soaking wet. I was small, and I had the worst genetics. I had the worst genetics. People were like, you became a bodybuilding champion. You had good genetics. No, everything is. I had small, skinny arms. I had skinny chest. I had a fat belly. You know what I mean? I had a belly with a small, and I just went to work out.
So you had to work harder to get to.
First time I worked out, I thought I was going to die. I was so sore the next day. I couldn't. I grabbed Bengay, put it all over my body, and I forgot to wash my hand, and I went to pee. You know what I mean? And I put it on my private part. You know what I mean? So getting back, have I not got cut from the basketball team?
Right.
I would not fall in love with weightlifting. I would not became a gym owner and became fat trader. It was the biggest blessing. Everything happens for a reason. We go back in our life, everything happens for a reason. And the only thing that we have in common, we are where we are right now, we never quit.
Never quit.
We just get up and kept going. We could have quit. We could have said no. We could have just said, stay in our setback. Yep. And say, and complain and say, oh, this happened to me, that's happened to me.
Yep.
And we just kept going. And sooner or later, if you just keep going, for people who are listening to this, if you just keep going, no matter what, get back up, keep going. Yeah. It's just matter of time for a breakthrough. That's all it is.
That's all it is. There's no secret sauce.
Yeah, no.
It's just keep going. Oh my God.
Well, I don't know about you. Y'all hungry? Let's go eat.
Yeah, let's go eat.
Hey guys, if you like today's episode, do me a huge favor. Go ahead and leave a comment below. Subscribe to the channel. Leave me a review and tag a few friends that you think can benefit from what we shared today. Really appreciate it. God bless.